Have you ever considered that the most precious things we own might be the parts of us that are not very useful? We often talk about what makes us human by listing our great achievements. We think of our art and our science and our ability to build massive systems. But as technology begins to do those things better and faster than we are left with a very strange question. If a machine can write a perfect poem or solve a complex math problem, then what is actually left for us? The answer might be found in the parts of ourselves that are messy and unlikable and even a little bit broken. Think about the jokes that make people uncomfortable or the weird habits you have that nobody else understands. These are the things that do not fit into a data set. These are the things that a machine would never choose to create because they are not profitable or efficient. Yet these small imperfections might be the very wall that protects our humanity from becoming just another line of code. To understand this, we have to look at the context of how our world is changing right now. In industries like film and television, people are fighting hard to put limits on how technology is used. They are worried that machines will take over the work of writers and actors. There is a feeling that we are in a race where the finish line is our own replacement. It is easy to feel a sense of dread when you look at how quickly these tools are evolving. We see a future where a digital person can be funnier and more relatable than a real person because that digital person is built from millions of pieces of data about what we like. It knows exactly which button to push to make us laugh or cry. This creates a surface concept where we think the biggest threat is losing our jobs. We worry about how we will pay the bills if a robot can do our work. But the deeper threat is not just economic. It is about the loss of the authentic human experience. There is a hidden assumption in our society that everything should be optimized. We assume that if a machine can produce a more popular story or a more balanced joke, then it must be better. We have become obsessed with being liked and being relatable. But when we aim for mass appeal, we often sand down the sharp edges of who we are. Machines are designed to be safe and respectful and lighthearted because that is what makes them useful to everyone. But humans are not always safe or respectful. We are complicated and often quite dark. We have thoughts and feelings that are uniquely ours and that might even alienate half of the people in the room. If we only value what is likable, we are accidentally training ourselves to act like machines. The structural pattern of technology is one of constant growth and data mining. A digital assistant or a robot comedian does not just perform for you. It listens to you. It studies your reactions and adjusts its behavior to stay in your good graces. It creates a relationship that feels real but is actually based on calculation. This is the opposite of a real human connection. A real connection happens when someone says something raw and unfiltered and you recognize yourself in that messiness. It is the moment where someone says the thing that everyone is thinking but nobody is supposed to say. That moment cannot be manufactured by an algorithm that is programmed to avoid controversy. The true power of being human lies in our idiosyncrasies. It is in our ability to be unlikable and still be real. We can reframe this by looking at our flaws as our greatest assets. Instead of trying to be more like the machines, we should be leaning into the things that make us weird. We should celebrate the jokes that nobody wants to steal and the ideas that are too strange to be sold. This is what I call the metaphorical abortion joke. It represents the unwanted children of our minds. The thoughts that are difficult and controversial and deeply personal. A machine will try to keep things respectful and polite. It will refuse to talk about certain topics because it is programmed to be a good product. But we are not products. We are living beings with a history of struggle and a future that is not yet written. By embracing our most authentic selves even when those selves are not profitable, we are claiming a space that technology cannot enter. When we apply this to our daily life, it means we should stop trying to be perfect versions of ourselves for the internet. We spend so much time curating our lives to look relatable and successful. We use filters and we watch our words because we are afraid of being cancelled or ignored. But every time we do that, we are just feeding the same kind of machine learning that will eventually replace that curated version of us. To stay human, we have to be willing to be wrong and to be loud and to be awkward. We have to have conversations that don't have a clear goal. We have to waste time on things that don't make money. We have to value the things that are uniquely ours even if they are a little bit ugly. This might mean telling a story that makes people wince or admitting a feeling that feels out of place. These are the moments that separate us from the robots. As we move into a world where technology is reimagined, we have to make sure that humanity is not just a euphemism for being replaced. We are currently feeding all of our talks and our books and our jokes into machine learning systems. Eventually, these machines might learn how to mimic our weirdness. They might learn how to pretend to be unfiltered. But they will never actually have the experience of being human. They will never know what it feels like to have a heart that breaks or a brain that is afraid. They will never understand the weight of a secret or the relief of a shared laugh over a dark topic. These are the things we must cultivate and protect. If we lose our willingness to be unlikable, we lose our soul. We must be careful not to let our desire for convenience and popularity turn us into the very machines we are so afraid of. We have to remember that our value is not in how much data we can process or how many people we can please. Our value is in our ability to stand on a stage or in a room and say something that is true even if it is uncomfortable. We are the creators of meaning in a world of information. Information can be copied and optimized, but meaning has to be felt. It has to come from a place of risk. Every time you share a part of yourself that isn't safe or profitable, you are performing an act of resistance. You are proving that there is something inside you that cannot be reduced to a set of probabilities. This is why we need to keep making the jokes and writing the stories that challenge the status quo. We need to keep pushing the boundaries of what is considered polite or acceptable. We need to stay in touch with our own raw and authentic selves because that is all we have left. The machines might eventually be able to say the word abortion or any other difficult word, but they will not know the gravity of it. They will not understand that it is a conversation about healthcare and freedom and life. To them, it will just be another string of characters to be balanced. To us, it is a lived reality. We must never forget the difference between a calculation and a heartbeat. As we look at the people around us, we should try to see the things that make them human too. Look for the cracks and the weird bits and the unpolished edges. That is where the beauty lives. That is where the real connection happens. We are all just people trying to figure it out in a world that is moving faster than we can think. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to be us. The future might be full of robots and AI, but it will only be worth living in if we keep our humanity intact. We have to be the ones who refuse to be fully explained. We have to be the ones who hold on to our metaphorical abortion jokes until the very end. This is a journey that requires us to be brave and to be honest. It is about realizing that our idiosyncrasies are not mistakes, but they are the signature of our species. If we can learn to love the parts of ourselves that are not relatable, then we can truly stay alive in an age of machines. We have a unique chance to define what it means to be human in a way that is deeper than ever before. It is not about what we can do, but about who we are. And who we are is something that no machine will ever truly be able to grasp. We should spend our time not just learning how to use the new technology, but learning how to stay weird and authentic in spite of it. We are the only ones who can do this. We are the only ones who can laugh at a tragedy and find hope in a mess. So let us embrace the unlikable and the unprofitable and the uniquely human. Let us be the walking examples of why a real human connection is worth more than any algorithm. If we look closely at our own lives and find the one weird thing that makes us completely unique from any machine, what is that thing and how can we protect it today?